Hello, and welcome to Rates That Character, the series where a member of the Source Gaming team gives their opinion on a character's chances at being playable in Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. We lay out the pros and cons for each character and give a final score out of 100. Please do remember that these are our own individual opinions and do not reflect Sakurai, Nintendo, or even the thoughts of Source Gaming as a whole. With that out of the way, my name is Epic Martin 7, and let's see who today's character is. The indie scene is an area of ever-growing success these days. Games like Golf Story, Celeste, and A Hat in Time, just to name a few, have also made their mark in some way. However, we can't have a conversation about current indie stars without talking about the one and only Shovel Knight. Hailing from a game of the same name, his debut in 2014 was something to behold. Going from a rather successful Kickstarter campaign to selling 2 million copies in 4 years, he is an example of a character rags to riches story. And with new content coming out for Shovel Knight later this year in the form of King Knight's King of Cards campaign, and his plethora of appearances in other indie games, he will surely be on the minds of a lot of individuals. Does that mean he is ready to strike the earth into Smash Bros? Or will he get dug into the grave of Smash speculation forever? Let's shovel ourselves into the deep dark trenches to find out. As stated previously, the game of Shovel Knight is still under active development. This is largely due to multiple Kickstarter promises yet to be filled. While it might not seem much at first, this technically means that this title is still extremely relevant in 2018. And as Sakurai has stated in the past, relevancy is a major factor in deciding who gets to join the battle, meaning he would still feel fresh if he were to join the fray. Cameos in other various indie titles cannot be understated either. He has been playable within the likes of Runbow, Star Mazer, Road Redemption, Blaster Master Zero, and the upcoming Runner 3. He even made cameos in the likes of Yooka-Laylee and will have some sort of role to fill in the upcoming Castlevania spiritual successor, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This means that he's kind of become an early 90s Mario of the indie scene and could make him more recognizable amongst gamers. However, the most important piece to all of this is Shovel Knight's connections to Nintendo. Not only has his game appeared on Nintendo platforms, but he was the first third-party series to feature an amiibo line. The relationship with Nintendo didn't end there either, as Nintendo themselves published Shovel Knight in Japan. This means potentially it could be a bit easier for Sakurai to work with Yacht Club Games due to their tight relationship with Nintendo. While all seems fine and dandy, there are still a couple of drawbacks for Shovel Knight. First is his lack of iconic status in gaming at large. Shovel Knight has made a name for himself in the indie scene, but that's largely it. He is simply not in the same league as Mario, Sonic, and Cloud in terms of industry icons, which is what Sakurai looks for in third parties. What are their historical contributions to the industry and how relevant are they today because of it? These are two questions that are just examples of what Sakurai looks for in third-party choices. Next, Shovel Knight is not really prominent in Japan. While his game was released there by Nintendo themselves, sales weren't as good as they were in the United States or Europe, according to Yacht Club Games' own sales data. Also, even if this was before the game went on sale in Japan, our very own Push Dustin translated a thread from 2chan about the perception of Western third parties to a dedicated Japanese demographic. And to get a sense of the perception of Shovel Knight on 2chan, one user explicitly said, "What's a Shovel Knight?" The final piece in all of this is that Sakurai seems to like working with Japanese publishers over Western publishers for third-party characters. While it isn't necessarily known as to why, the common theory is that due to Sakurai's detail-heavy nature, it's easier dealing with publishers near him rather than flying out directly to other publishers overseas. Another factor involved could be language barriers. Sakurai doesn't speak English, meaning there would be additional noise and interpretation with the use of translators, leading to possible miscommunication. Shovel Knight has certainly dug himself to new heights. From becoming a successful Kickstarter campaign to gaining traction in the indie scene with cameos in other franchises, it's no wonder fans would be eager to see him join the fray. And to add a relationship with the main company involved in the creation of Smash Bros. Almost sweetens the deal for many. However, Shovel Knight being a Western third party, along with his lackluster perception in Japan, may hinder him quite a lot. From the language barriers between Sakurai and his developers to the infamous "What's a Shovel Knight" one-liner, it might be one of the toughest roadblocks for getting this lad in spades to finally join the fray. Well, as they say, a score has to be settled, and how we do it here on Rate That Character is the good old fashioned way, in actual school. Thank you for watching today's Rate That Character. If you liked this video, then give us a like and share with your friends. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on today's character and give us a suggestion for a future character you would like us to rate. I would like to thank all of our Patreons, in particular our super Patreon, the Duke of Dorks. A link to his channel can be found below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date and always remember to return to the source.